now there's sound. Okay. All right. There's a big old UPS truck right here, so I gotta make sure I'm not in the way of the road. Dangerous. Today I want to talk to you guys while moving with some weight. The intent of move with weight. And the reason why I do some of the things that I do, because today I want to explain the concept of low amplitude, long duration. Low amplitude, long duration. All that means low amplitude or low intensity huh? Yeah. So today I'm going to move and manipulate this weight for a long time. Okay? And you're going to be seeing me get into different types of bodybuilding movements and positions. For example, low amplitude, long duration bicep curls, working through the range of motion, but also using my whole body to move this weight through space, organizing my spine, organizing my legs, getting up on my forefoot so I can use some movement. All I want to do is move this weight smoothly. I'm going to do it for a long time. So I'm going to work my muscles, not with as much set by set intensity, meaning pure load in the gym, but because of the duration of working with this weight, moving with this weight, organizing my body so it has to stabilize against the load, I strengthen my dynamic movement ability. So I'm able to put more force through my skeleton for a longer period of time. And that can be something that can help with martial arts. Because martial arts has you manipulating the weight of not a 16-pound kettlebell, pressing over your head, or going into a smooth lunge with it, coming up, switching. It might be a 250-pound opponent for 6 minutes, like a jiu-jitsu match. But if I have the ability to control this rotate with 16 kilograms, around 35 pounds, for 40 minutes, 30 minutes, while moving other loads with minimal rest, and become a stronger rotator, become a stronger presser, become a stronger swinger. Everything becomes stronger, all aspects of my movement. Now weight training, heavier weight training with heavy sandbags, low duration sets, because right now this is still one set. Anyway, what I was saying, I got caught up in the movement. Actually, you know what? I kind of want to stop talking. As I said, this is going to be kind of raw, so I can't always spend time talking and teaching. I'll be able to think clearly. Kind of want to go into a flow with this weight. Whew. That can still happen out here. Gotta be smoother with it. These are the simpler movements. Just control it. I need to grab a lighter bell. I want to explain something. Okay, drink a little bit of this. This is Bub's Naturals Hydration. It's over at the Stronger Human store. If you grab it, I want to give you a heads up. It tastes natural, like it's an electrolyte that actually, like, you taste, you're like, ooh, this is natural. It's NSF certified for sport, so nothing in it is at all. It's really has really pure ingredients. Okay. No hidden stuff in it, but it tastes natural, so I got to add some juice to it. So I just want to give you a warning. Unless, there are people, I'm not saying it tastes bad. I'm saying it tastes natural, okay? There's a difference between bad and natural, So, yeah. Add a little juice is if you don't like it, if you don't like the taste of it raw, then add a little juice to it. I'll tell you that juice will fix things. Just a little bit of juice. I use that. Those are my intra-workout carbs. That's my juice, right? Yeah. Maybe it's just an acquired taste. Maybe in a month or so, I'll be able to do it without juice. But I don't even see why I would do it without juice, because those juice are just like intra-workout, keeps that energy going. Why not? Okay. Now, what was I going to say? What I was doing, bouncing with the weight, hopping with the weight, okay? When I think about the body, I just want to help you kind of understand some of what I'm thinking about. I made that video about bone density. But when I think about the body, I don't think about the muscles. I think about the fascia. I would probably equate the fascia to being the ability to let force travel through the body efficiently. That soft tissue, that fascia, if you can have that force go through the soft tissue, that plays a role in your freedom of movement, okay? So if when I jump, I don't feel super stiff and that's great force, but more so I can just bounce off of my structure, right? Which takes no energy because I'm handling the force of the ground through my fascia. Well, yeah, cool. Then there's a deeper layer. I made a video about bone density. And in that bone density video, talked about how sprinters have really high bone density because they can take the ground reaction forces, which is potentially 6 times their body weight, 7 times their body weight. So, 150-pound sprinter is going to probably be handling 150 times 6, 900 pounds of force. With each step, there can't be any kinks in the chain, and those bones that crash the ground have to be able to handle force as to not break. So, what I'm saying is, these athletes, these sprinters, they're not just amazing because they're fast. They're amazing because of their ability to handle force. Their bones' ability to handle force. I would say it's rare that you'd run into a high-level sprinter that doesn't have a level of high bone density. You won't find a fast sprinter that doesn't have high bone density. That's not me saying I'm a fast sprinter. That's me saying that you have to be able to handle force. And by being able to handle the ground reaction force efficiently, without tiring, by letting it go through your bones. Not your muscles, not just your fascia, your bones. Your muscles too. Your muscles have to be able to relax. If I was tense, I wouldn't be able to talk to you like this while just hopping around. Again, it's not taking the energy, right? Because I'm just letting the force of the ground travel through my bones. My bones. And the number 2 thing is the way I'm organizing my structure. And when I talk about structure, I'm talking about the alignment of your body to be able to handle the force of the ground. What that means is my rib cage is over my pelvis. I don't have this anterior pelvic tilt. I'm not too in. My posture is set up in a way. My ankles underneath my knees, slight bend, keeping this position. My structure is set up in a way to handle that ground force without ending up in my lower back. It goes through the chain. So don't get me wrong, there's power, okay? There's some power in this, but there's also the ability to handle the force of the ground. So now, we take that idea of creating the right structure of your bones, not just your muscles, not just your fascia, not the position of your skeleton. We multiply that with forces. Because when we now come here to the kettlebell, as I mentioned in the video about bone density, the kettlebell, if you want to be able to do it without using energy, you have to let the bell go through your skeleton. Notice how I'm not flexing my biceps. I'm not flexing anything hard. I'm just leveraging my body. The weight's pulling at me. It's pulling at my bones. And now I'm handling the stress of something trying to pull my body apart. But I'm redirecting that force elsewhere. The force of this 24-pound weight, actually, what's 12 kilograms? 12 times 2.2. 26? Yeah, I think it's 26. Something around there. This thing is creating a stress where to become efficient, again, I have to learn how to organize my bones. That's why we do kettlebell flow. That's why we move with this weight. Because we want to be able to handle the force of this object for high duration and low amplitude, right? Or low intensity, more so. I should say low intensity. I feel like amplitude just sounds right, but I feel like it's not right. Definitely the intensity. But this is more of like a, for especially doing movements like this, it's like a middle intensity load, especially if I'm going for longer duration. That's why this can have such a profound effect on your bone density. Because as I mentioned to you, I think of the body as a structure of bones at its deepest level. I mean, there are minerals inside those bones, but at the end of the day, when they cut open your skeleton, the last piece of tissue they see is that bone. They don't see nothing deeper, because there is nothing deeper that you have control of. So when I say you have control of your bones, what I'm saying is this. Oh no, flies are probably going to town in this thing. Put something on top of it. Still kind of dirty, but whatever. The environment will make me strong. When I think of the body and I think of the bones, what I have control over, because you'll be like, okay, you can't control your bones. You can control your fingers, look at that. Well, yeah, right? But your fingers, are you controlling your muscles to move your structure around? So, when I need to get into a stance where, for example, I told you guys that I will carry something every day for the rest of my life because of my grandmother, well, I walk typically for 2 miles with this. Oh, what's up, man? I didn't know you were in there.
Yeah, I was looking at you, I'm like, damn, I should ask him to work out, but I be lazy sometimes.
You're welcome to join. Welcome to join anytime, Doug. I do some type of movement every day. Not every day has.
I be seeing you do yoga, you do all that.
Yeah, the rope stuff. Yeah.
So I gotta come fuck with you, but
Yeah.
I gotta start in the morning. That way I keep on doing it. Like I keep seeing it.
Yeah. I have if you type in my name, I have a bunch of videos about it, and then I have a bunch of courses for it. So it teaches you everything.
You like an instructor.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah.
Okay, so what time you get up and do? Or you just do it when you get up?
I do it when I get up. So I'll get up at like 5, but there's really like no sun. So I'll 5 a.m. Yeah.
Every day?
That's what time I usually, like my body just wants to get out of bed at 5. Like 5:18 actually is the exact time. But that's just like I feel tired at 9 p.m., bro. I go to sleep early.
And I see you drinking your drink. What's that? It's like a healthy drink.
Oh yeah, it's just electrolytes. To keep me hydrated.
I'm gonna join you though. One morning I see you, I'm gonna just start.
Let me give you my number, or I'll give you my number later, whenever.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, Doc.
All right,
All right, so what I was saying, the sandbag, carrying, right? So, there's one day that I shared in the Stronger Human community. It's a free community, about close to 20,000 members. By the time I post this video, it might actually be at 20,000, which is crazy. All these people are building their different physical practices. But in the Stronger Human community, I posted walking with a 145-pound sandbag, and I did it for about 1.2 miles, I think. So it's a 145-pound bag. I felt proud because I'm like, if I had to walk, for God forbid, I go on a walk with my girlfriend, something happens, and I have to pick her up and walk for a mile, we're on a hike or something, God forbid, I have the ability to carry her for a long period of time and I can get her to safety. That's not what I was thinking about when I did that. I was just thinking about walking with a sandbag for a little bit. But I realized while doing that is that if I want to do it, I want to do it for a long time and I want to allow myself to build strength slowly, I have to go even lower intensity. Meaning instead of doing 140, 50 pounds, which I can't do every day, especially since I have jujitsu some days, I want to lift heavier some days, why don't I just lower it to maybe, this one's 55 pounds, right? And on this walk, people will pretty much say, oh, Encina, that's rucking. Yeah, it's rucking. But the reason why I like the sandbags is because a rucksack is it's a vest. And we'll probably have some at the Stronger Human store, so you can get that. It's good because it takes away some of what I'll be talking about next. But the reason why I like walking with the training sandbag, I really like it, is because of the variability in which you can adjust your body, the amount of ways you can adjust your body around that bag, that your body will force you to adjust for, let's say, 2 miles, right? So what I mean is this. If I walk with it on my shoulder, right, I can bounce with it. I can handle that force efficiently, right? But when I walk, I can't just walk flaccid. Now let's explain this new thing. Flaccid, huh? What does flaccid mean in SEMA? Flaccid means that you're just slumped over, right? This is why, I'll talk about this. This is why something like rope flow, I'm walking like this, right? Okay. Now, all these ropes will be linked, but it's a light flow rope. Now, if I'm someone who isn't able to expand my structure, right? So what I mean by expand my structure is this. I could come into a bodybuilding pose, and this is something that bodybuilders learn how to do. They learn how to expand their structure, but it takes a lot of muscular energy because it's coming from the muscles. They're thinking about the muscles, and they're not thinking about just lifting their shoulder blades, right? Lifting your shoulder and expanding wide. Think about that, it's a lat spread, but also learning how to relax your lats at the same time. It's bodybuilding. Bodybuilding and bodybuilders are somewhat masters, because the reason why I say they're somewhat masters of building structure is because they know how to lift weights to enhance the muscles, right? That can have an effect on the bones and the structure, but what they're not good at is removing tension from the muscles so that they can do movements smoothly. And so that it doesn't look like it takes so much muscular effort, because it shouldn't take muscular effort. The muscles should relax and they should transfer energy through the bones. So bodybuilding teaches you how to organize the structure in different ways. For example, a side, chest. That's an organization of the bones. Everything is spread. I'm not here, I'm spread. I'm not trying to teach you bodybuilding. Well, I guess I am teaching you bodybuilding, but I'm not saying that you need to do bodybuilding. I'm saying that you learn how to organize the structure for a pose, right? I can tilt here, I could tilt my spine here, right? But I'm gonna tend to generally be here, right? But it'd be wide. Still, I also have that back, that spread. That's me lifting my bones. Not flexing certain muscles, that is me lifting my bones. Okay? Now that we think about that, we then think about movement through the bones. Rope flow helps you learn how to spread the structure, and when you become fluent and efficient at moving the rope, you're also fluid and efficient at organizing your structure in a way to handle the force of the ground and master the energy of the rope and rotation. Because you notice, this isn't taking me any energy. I'm talking to you, right? I'm talking to you, but my structure is organized in a way that I can handle the ground forces and I don't have to think about it. So, that being said, we understand that it's about bones and the organization of said bone. The slow intensity practice of rope flow will teach you how to organize your bones. So, when you're working with the rope, initially you're gonna be here, you're gonna be trying to control the rope with your muscles, and it'll look like you're controlling the rope and you're gonna be kind of stiff. But over time, what does this look like, by the way? This looks like jump roping. Okay? Jump roping is the structure, not just jumping, because jogging is pretty much light hops forward, right? When you want a long jog, you're taking light hops forward. Jump roping is taking light hops in place and teaching your body how to handle the forces of the ground in place. I didn't bring a cross-rope jump rope out here because you can jump rope with your rope. So understand you will destroy it a little bit faster, okay? But this is where jump roping becomes a fun practice, because you want to learn how to turn off your muscles, bounce off your bones and your tendons. Your tendons become springy. Your back is organized in a way that will allow you to just leverage the rope off of your bones. I'm not really swinging I'm swinging my arms, but my body is being controlled from the shape of its structure, from the bones, and what it does to the muscles. Well, the muscles are the bones. You see how it works together. But my muscles are relaxed, and I found a position that can let me handle the force of the ground. And then, I want to slow things down. Slow things down. But we're gonna go to, let's just, now I want to just move for a little bit. Pause some music now. I'm gonna do some rope flow for a bit. I don't want to speak, I just want to flow. And then I'll explain some more stuff. Just so you get why you're building these practices into the training you and the moving you already do. What's up?
Sorry, were you videotaping?
It's good. I'm just, yeah.
I'm leaving.
Okay, cool.
I'm tired. I've crashed.
All right. Thank you, Lacey. You do wonderful work. Seriously. And never stress about the time. Do not. We are not stressed. We are thankful that you are helping us organize our space.
I am very used to people being jerks.
I know.
I'm
Yeah,
very
yeah.
used to people not wanting to pay me and saying that I'm too slow or being.
Nah,
I'm not used to this.
Listen, you are great at what you do.
Okay, thanks.
Okay? Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank
Changing
you
our
for
lives.
Your home and your reassurance.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
effort.
Yes, yes.
Are you okay that I just turn around?
Yeah, do your thing. Nah, the street is the street.
Hit.
You're good. You're not going to hit anything.
I'm tired.
All right, well, drive safe, okay?
I will do my best.
And I will message your husband. I want to work with him.
I give him your number too.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. You know, it's funny. There's a certain song I put on, and that, like, there's certain songs I play that immediately they'll make me think of my grandmother. And whenever I think about my grandmother, I can't help but like tears just like come out of my eyes. It's crazy. And that's just it. When I just like, oh shit. She was 100. You know, she was 100. She was ready to go, but I feel like I still wanted her. All right. Whew. Still want her to be here. We can't have that expectation. At some point, people will go. And even if you all expect them to go, it can still hurt when you think about them. I love to listen to that when I flow. All right. And like I said, just certain songs. But let's get back to moving through space with weight. Because this is the thing, a sandbag, right? And I mentioned earlier, oh yeah. As I'm walking, when I take my long walks, let me make sure this is still recording. God forbid I turned this camera off, or I didn't even click record. Wouldn't that be a shame? Okay. Now, let's think about this. If I want to move with this bag, unlike a ruck or a vest, which isn't bad, it's settled down. You maintain one solid position for a long period of time, which is powerful. Because when you're walking with a load, you have to learn how to resist against that load a little bit with your bones. Now, when I was talking about flaccid, there is a relaxed, neutral position that you should have your body as it's coming against gravity. Gravity is the lowest force that is put on our bodies. It might feel like there's nothing, but there is a force that is pushing down on you as your structure reaches the heavens. And if you never position your bones a certain way against gravity, gravity will slowly push certain areas down because of excess tension that might be held in your system. Because you're not loose enough to just have your structure sit somewhere that still has a level of force against gravity. The rope also teaches that too. Very light load, right? But you have to think, when we put a substantial load, or any load on our skeleton, but when it's substantial, it has a much higher possibility of pushing the structure down and making things get worse. So if I were flaccid and I was just like, you know, I didn't have a good structure because of certain things that are too tight. If I were to put this on my shoulder, oh, you're good. Don't worry about it. Yeah, the road is yours. It is not mine. All right. So what I was saying was if I put this weight on my shoulder, if I'm flaccid, I'll be walking like this, and it's going to hurt because I'm not pushing my structure, my shoulder, upward to the sky. Now notice how I didn't say just against the load, I said upward to the sky because I need to walk with my structure like the load doesn't exist. So what that means is as I'm moving through space in a way where I'm leveraging my body, my shoulders lifting, but I still have this neutral structure when walking. I'm not like this. I can't walk like this for a long time. I have to walk with a neutral structure, so my bones have to learn how to press against this for a long period of time. The same thing, because at some point this will... Sorry, I realized it was kind of dark. I had to open up that filter. So, let's resume. What I was saying was, now, this bag is something that when you walk, unlike a rucksack, when you walk with this, you have to raise your structure against this load, okay? From your bones, because we are talking bone deep now, okay? Raise this against this load. And then over time though, as you're walking in this neutral position, okay, because you're not walking different, you're walking in a neutral position, because that's how you're going to be able to disperse the force of the ground through your skeleton, okay? Yes, we are not walking like this on our toes. We are slightly heel striking when we're walking, but we know how to strike the parts of our heel smoothly so we can walk through space efficiently, right? We know how to let our skeleton strike the ground, right? We know how to relax our skeleton in the right neutral positions when we take a step. Slight head over foot, right? This will get tiring though. At some point, this will get tiring and this will want to come down. So I switch, go to the other shoulder. Same thing. Now, I have energy on this side of my body and I continue walking. And then, I'll switch to this type of position, but I want to show you something, and this is something that, you know, this is going to be 55 pounds, But when you do this, first you make sure that you don't have neck pain. So you don't start with this. If you do this, you do it with something like 5 pounds, right? 8 pounds. Low weight, you know, just something light. You could even take your 6 kilogram kettlebell. Maybe I'll talk about that later. Actually, I'll talk about that soon. But my grandma, when she would be in Nigeria, the woman would be the ones, and there are actually many people. There are people in street vendors, which can be men. There are many male street vendors in Nigeria. But many people do work out in the street in some places, okay? And this is in other parts of the world. But these people have developed a skill, a unique skill. And this skill is the inherent understanding that if I'm going to be in the street offering people coconut, which is a snack, and getting paid for it, it has to be on my head. Because this is how you move through weight with space efficiently. You have the weight on your head because now the weight puts the force through the whole structure. Understand, this is the easiest way for me to walk that 2 miles. Most of the time, the weight is gonna be on my head. I typically take my rope with me too, because I'll take breaks and do rope flow. But this will be on my head, okay? It'll be on my head. And I'll walk like this very efficiently through space. My tongue will be pressed against the roof of my mouth, as that will help activate my face structure, and it'll help me keep my face strong because that leads into the skeletal structure of the neck. So, and then lastly, I slightly push my neck into the bag and I elongate my structure slightly as to not allow the bag to press hard and compress the nerves and the bones of my neck. So I can't just be flaccid and have my neck be in this flaccid position. My whole structure has to be expanded and elongated, right? So that I can push up against the bag. Up against the bag. I fight gravity and the bag. Because remember, gravity is a force. But now, my structure is learning how to handle the force of gravity and this bag while walking for an hour 10, an hour 20. Many people in Africa do this all day long, and they have very strong structures. They've done this for thousands of years. And many people in history have done this, right? But sometimes when you're working out there, you build this strength. And it's something that we've stopped doing. We've stopped loading our structures for long periods of time. Not all of us, laborers, do this type of stuff all day. That's why when I'm someone who I do jujitsu, I've done jujitsu for 10 years, and the strongest people, the strongest guy I've rolled with is actually Zabi. Zabi has this level of isometric strength and tension because he's been a martial artist his whole life. He's done fighting and he's lifted weights, but he's also been a person who's gone on roofs, done work with his body, and they have this level of isometric strength because all day they're working with load. They might not be having to work with it on their head, right? Because they wear hard hats and they're round, which it makes it more difficult for them to really, they learn to balance. So they do this stuff, but most people don't load their structure in this fashion. Many people who go to the gym will put the barbell on their back, squat like this, and that's how they load their structure. Strongman take high intensity, 700, 800 pounds, and they learn to move fast with it through space. But they do lighter loads too. They do a few hundred pounds, but maybe they're not moving with that poundage for a straight hour 15, right? When you have to walk with load like this for long periods of time, you have to be relaxed but strong. And to be relaxed but strong, your muscles can't be doing too much work. You can't be burning through your muscles, because if you were, you would cramp up, you'd have to go home. Your muscles wouldn't be relaxed enough to handle this for an hour, right? But that's what this low intensity, high duration movement does for you. It teaches you how to master the or movement of a relaxed structure. Movement of your body. Because ideally your body's relaxed. It's relaxed enough to handle load. Put on some music. And some of that load can be a light rope. Some of that load will be a heavy rope. Now, the thing about the heavy rope, and you don't work with a heavy rope initially. You'll feel super tiring because you haven't learned how to relax your structure. With the heavy rope, when I roll this heavy rope, first, I teach this in the rope flow matrix course on school. That course is available for purchase. You buy it once, you get lifetime access. I think there's also going to be a membership option too. So anyway, I teach this in depth. You learn that if you want to roll this heavy rope, you really have to have your structure. You have to be leveraging the rope with your structure, right? You can't be flaccid anywhere. Your bones have to steer this rope. It's not me steering this rope, it's my skeletal structure steering this rope. So I squeeze just enough on the handles of the rope, and I actually have to pull this up to me because, come through. This mic is too low. The unfortunate thing is that this mic, okay, I know I look weird, but if I sweat into the mic, it won't work. And I hate it when I start listening and I don't hear myself. I'm like, I was just wasting all this time trying to help y'all when you guys weren't even hearing what I was saying. But when I swing this heavy rope, it's my bones that are swinging the heavy rope. It is not, which is me, but it's because the bones are being organized to handle the rotational force of the rope against my body generated through the ground. Because I'm handling the force through my feet and leading that force through my feet into my hips, into my arms, and I can even bring my neck high so that this pulls at everything, decompresses my structure. This is why heavy kettlebell flow, moving through space with the bell, heavy rope flow, which is a heavier rope pulling through the structure, because I'm not using my muscles. I am, but they're relaxed. Understand, when I say I'm not using my muscles, I'm not meaning my muscles are off, but I mean my muscles are so relaxed that they can move smoothly without me wasting energy, and I can talk to you without really running out of breath. I become very efficient at letting this not take any of my energy. So heavier work, it doesn't have to be crazy heavy, but heavier work will allow you to tap into flexing your muscles and making them bigger and stronger, which is good. It is good to build bigger and stronger muscles, but then you need practices that allow you to entrain your structure, to entrain your bone. The heavy rope is still stressful because, as I said, it pulls everything apart. So the reason why I take a rope with me when I go and I do this walk with this bag is because when I pick this bag up, or let's now say I chose to, I'm not going to talk about the kettlebell today. Let's talk about the sandbag. It's I think, the most approachable and best to learn first. And best to do with light load. Don't do 50 pounds. Do like 5, 10 pounds. And as you get stronger and you learn how to organize your structure, you do, 45, 50 pounds. And listen, I'm so impressed. Wendy Soleil, I want to give you a shout out. Wendy Soleil is a badass. But Wendy, I want you to hear what I'm saying, okay? She is on our bone building challenge, the 6-month bone building challenge, where if you enter, you can win up $1,500. And Wendy has so many entries. I think she did the most consistent. So Wendy's about to win $1,500. Okay. So now, as I was saying, Wendy saw me talk about carrying every day, and Wendy said, actually, you know what? Since I'm right here, I'm not walking with it. I can grab a heavier load and put it against my head. Let me explain this next concept. Okay. As I mentioned in the bone density video, which you can go watch. If you watch the bone density video, you will understand everything I'm explaining to you about controlling your body through your bones. Now, in that video, you'll see that my bone density is 7.7. And 7.7 is very high. 7.7 standard deviations above the mean. And I say that trying not to sound like an asshole, okay? It makes me actually kind of self-conscious to say that because some people, when they hear me say that, they think I'm pompous and they think I'm trying to brag. I'm not bragging. Part of that will absolutely come from my genetics. But I've been tracking my bone density for years, and I've been thinking of my body through my bones for years. And I've deliberately done things to manipulate my bones in specific ways as to try to build their density. That's why I've been doing what I've been doing. Because I don't just think of the body from lifting load. I think of the body from its ability to handle all forces. I think of the bones from their ability to handle all forces. Ari! It's my dog, sorry. He cannot be barking like that. Okay, now, when I put this on my shoulder, I'm walking with a lighter one typically, naturally, it's going to compress my structure. So if I were to walk with this for actually as long as we're talking right now, the whole time as I'm walking, that's to adjust my body to handle this load, but the whole time, it's pushing down on my shoulder. And I can't walk with it while letting my shoulder relax. I need to fight gravity against this sandbag. I need to organize my body in a way that will allow me to move while not being too compressed. There's a natural compression that is going on this side. That's why I won't do 100 pounds in this way for a very long time. But now I'm progressing to this. Ideally, in a few years, if not sooner, I want to walk for maybe 50 minutes. I don't think this will take me so long with this sandbag. When I walk like this, it is compressing the structure of my head, right? And I can walk with this in this way, and I can let it fully sit on my head, but if I feel it's too much compression, I can push against it. I can allow myself to bounce, and if I want to strength train my neck, fighting compression, I can allow myself to bounce here. But that compresses the structure, it pushes down. That's what a barbell does when you actually structure, where you actually have it on your back. Axial, A-X-I-A-L. So pressing down on the spine. So when we put this load, this axial load through our skeleton when it's on our head, and through our spine, right here, and your head is part of your spine pretty much. Your body's a whole bone unit, right? Your spine connects to everything. So your head is your spine. Everything is your spine. Understand this, everything is your spine, okay? Now, I say that, that's one way you'll adjust the sandbag as it's pressing down on you when you're walking. It's one way. This will be a way you can walk for a period of time, but the most efficient way will always be here, allow you to walk the fastest with the most even structure or the most even pressures through your bones. It'll build everything. You'd think that I feel this in my neck. I don't feel this in my neck. I feel this in the middle of my back. As I start to fatigue, the soreness will build here and it'll spread out of my structure, but it will not start in my neck and I have no tension in my neck. So my neck isn't flexing my neck. I'm pushing my head, I'm pushing my skull up into the bag, and my neck is, the tissues of my neck are relaxed. You could poke me and they'd be relaxed, okay? So, watch the bone density video, you'll understand. I'm trying to help you build your bones. That's what all these practices do. All these practices build your bones, okay? I think that lady was down this side of the street. I don't blame her. I feel bad. Poor white lady. She's over here. She's probably visiting her granddaughter or grandson. And then she sees me in the middle of the street holding a heavy bag with a shady hat on. She's like, you know, I'm gonna go across the street over here. It's okay. I don't blame her. I don't blame you, lady. Fortunate, but I don't blame her. Some people, I might look like a crazy person. They just see me, they come across the street. Imagine. This is what these people go through here, but they know I'm nice, so they, no one, everyone knows I'm cool. But imagine 9 p.m. 9 p.m. You're walking. First time in this neighborhood, taking a walk, and then across the street, you see a structure, a figure in the shadows, going like this. Imagine in the dark of night, you just see, imagine. Oh. I'd drive the other way too. I would walk the other way. I wouldn't go down that side of the street. I would not go down side of the street. In daytime though, of course I would. Or maybe I wouldn't, I don't know. I have to call it. If they look like they're tweaking, if they're like, nah, I'm going the other way. But outside of that, yeah. I'm joking. Okay. I'm gonna put on some music now. I wanna dump into this flow a little bit and go back to the kettlebell. I think I explained enough, so at this point I'm just gonna try to move. God. Am I gonna make myself cry again? I like flowing to that song, and I was interrupted earlier, so I wasn't able to just let the whole song play. So I'm gonna turn that song back on, and yeah, turn that song back on. Whenever anyone has asked me about jump rope, I love jump rope. I do it all the time. Now, the thing about jump rope is jump rope teaches you the neutral structure. It teaches you how to hold this structure. The rope teaches you a dynamic movement of the structure while still maintaining a fluid movement of the spine. The spine bends at certain points when I come to certain angles. The whole structure does. Jump rope holds it here. You can do all your tricks, but over time, it's this aspect of your structure. Rope flow teaches you how to rest in that, stretching and expanding at the bones. And the spine gets movement, and the spine also gets movement stress. There's still movement going on here, but it's a movement of stability. I can switch between planes. A slight coil on this side to allow me to stay head over foot here, and a coil of this side to allow me to stay head over foot here. The coil I'm talking about allows me to achieve balance. This is something that I learned from David Weck. Okay? I can also do this here, but I can exaggerate it, and I can come head over this foot, and then I can come head over this foot, and I'm perfectly balanced. And I move through my bones. And no one part of my body takes all the force. I can do that lightly here. But this is what jump roping is. And then dynamic is rope flow. No energy, just movement. Come on. Come on. Okay. It's my girlfriend. I don't know why she's just, well, she's, oh, okay. I'm gonna restart this song. This is another one of those songs. Okay. I'm gonna allow myself to chill here. Oh, ooh, face hit. No, that happens. You gotta be okay with it. For me, this feels like jiu-jitsu. So I can let my body dynamically move into ranges through the pressures I put through parts of my structure. Through my bones, not through my muscles. My muscles aren't moving me this way. Oh yeah. It's pushing through the bones and relaxing the structure against the bones. Just enough tension to move through space efficiently. Just enough tension. If I had 315 pounds on my back, there would be the ability to create that much tension, but I won't be able to hold that load or move that load for a long time. But maybe, just maybe, and this is like my irrational hope, but it might take me many years, but I wonder what type of structure my body will create to handle walking a mile smoothly with 405 pounds or 300 pounds. Let's start there. I think that'll take me like 5 years of this type of progression because I'm not rushing it. Might happen sooner, but I mean being able to do that smoothly where it doesn't look like it's taking me effort. That's what I mean. I don't mean like I'm hardcore struggling, but I feel like my bones will get so dense that they'll be able to handle the pressure of 300 pounds for a mile. And it's gonna take me potentially years, or I may never. But I have this belief of no limits. And this is why it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy because I'm talking about, my bones getting to like a 8 or 9 bone density. And I'm 32. That usually doesn't happen. But I think that if you build new skills in life and you really focus on giving your body the time it needs to make the progress, right? Giving your body the time it needs to make the progress. Not rushing it, Let me actually. Giving your body the time it needs to make that adaptation, which it needs time. You gotta be eating like good nutrition. You gotta take care of your body. You gotta take care of your tissues. You gotta keep yourself calm. You gotta progress, all right? But you don't do stupid things. You don't try to put too much weight on yourself before you know that your structure is ready. And you listen to your body. Maybe this is something you do every day. I say I do this every day, and I do. But I'm also very good at modulating intensity. So some days it's not gonna be a long distance. It'll be like half a mile, right? Maybe a little bit heavier weight, but half a mile, right? Lowest I'll go for me is like 60 pounds, or 55 pounds, but it's because my body, my structure can handle it safely, consistently, right? So it's my baseline. So, challenge yourself, but listen to your body. If it needs rest, it needs rest. If it doesn't need it, if it needs just a normal walk without anything, and you can always take your rope on a walk. That's why I like the rope. I can always take this on a walk because if I get tired, first off, when you walk with the rope just allows you to move and get the rotation of your body through the rope efficiently. It can actually help you walk because look right here. This is smooth movement of the spine. Right, overhand is different, but underhand mirrors the walk, right? So, I can take it on a walk. If I get tired, put the rope around my neck and walk. Boom, 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 just like that. And the rope teaches you how to start moving through your structure. It takes time though. It'll take time for your muscles to relax, for you to be able to move through your bones. It'll take an understanding of structure. That's what I've made in the Stronger Human. That's what I'm working on. That's what I'm continually adding to. So when I talk about things in the Stronger Human community in my courses, I'm going to be speaking about them through the idea of moving through your bones, not moving through your muscles, not moving through your tendons, not moving through your fascia. Well, your fascia is movement, right? It's the tissue element. And the tissue is only so deep. Fascia is deeper than muscle. Fascia goes throughout the whole body. But they're all connected to your bones. They're all connected to your bones. So you learn how to control the bone. And that's the way I'm teaching you how to move in the Stronger Human. Calisthenics are a part of that. So you shouldn't underestimate calisthenics. One thing that you should do in your calisthenics is you should hold more isometrics. So not just thinking about doing repetitions of dips and pull-ups, but isometric holds in different parts of positions of those movements. And learn to hold your structure. That's why I love rings and hanging and different angles of hanging, because you're holding isometric positions. Even at a dead hang, your structure isn't fully flaccid. You still have some tension, but the tension is so easy for you to maintain that you're able to do feats like you see on straight side. You know, him and his brother, I think they hung for like 5 minutes. And it's gonna be a little harder for me because my structure is heavier, but maybe in a year, maybe in a year and a half, 2 years, I'll be able to hang for 5 minutes, but at 250 pounds. I have to give my tendons and my bones, everything has to catch up to that. And I think that's one way my bones are gonna be getting thicker, through better expansion, more pulling, not just the compression I've been doing for years with lifting weights, but the pulling. Rope flow is pulling at my body. The kettlebell is pulling at my body. I can compress and press. Press, compress, move. Just enough tension. Not thinking about things through my muscles, thinking about them through my bones. The things that really get me here are my tendons, because they've never been pulled at this aggressively for this long. I've never really let anything pull at my tendons like this. So all this stuff elongates my structure a bit. So I get a little taller. Well, I shouldn't actually say that. I don't get taller. My body is just always being held at its expanded state. So if I always felt compressed because of the work I did, and I didn't expand my structure, I might be standing a little bit shorter than I should be, because maybe compression at the hip, compression in somewhere in the spine. But pulling at your structure will give you it'll take you to where you should be in terms of height. I'm really curious. I doubt it. I doubt I was that compressed. When I was compressed, because whenever I got my height checked out, I always try to push up, right? But I wonder if my height would say anything different. I've always been 6'1" and 3/4, and always I'm 6'2". I'm probably 6'1" and 3/4. But it'd be cool. What if it says 6? What if it actually says 6'2"? Exactly 6'2". Hey, I got that 1/4 of an inch, less than an inch, and it means something. That'd be so funny. All right, guys. That was today's movement. Earlier today, I went on a 2-mile walk with the 55 pounds and my rope. Came back, worked, and now, I just wanted to talk to you about some of these movement ideas and what I think about when I lift. I haven't learned how to 4-ball juggle. This is something that I can do pretty easily now. I think everyone can learn how to 3-ball juggle. This is just for reflexes, right? And you could keep balls by your desk, and every now and then I like to just tax my mental and my reflexes when I'm thinking about things and reading things, because I feel like it helps me stay sharp. And sooner or later it becomes reflex. So sooner or later 4 will become easy, but it trains those reflexes. Your ability to hold. When I'm 90, I want to be able to juggle 5 balls at 90, 8 balls at 90, and just chill. That would be so sick. But I think you can build that ability. You see people that juggle all the time. That's another type of strength. Which, you know what? I'm done. We're not going to be getting into that right now. The August-September challenge is going on to the Stronger Human. All the equipment I use in my personal practice is at the strongerhuman.store. Everything is there. And join the Stronger Human community. Rope flow, foundations. There's a Stronger Human bundle in there, 7 courses for $47. And I'll always be adding to those courses over time. But there's a lot of stuff for you to learn so you can learn how to move through your bones. All right, this is Nsima. I was about to say my old outro. My old outro, oh my God, it was so cringy. This is Nsima, Yin Yang from Break the Bar. Those are actually really cringy. If you're even at the end of this video, that's kind of wild. I doubt there's going to be many people at the end of this, but even so, my old YouTube outros were, this is Nsima Yin Yang from Break the Bar. Be an anomaly. And I'll talk to you all very, very soon. Let me let that play right now. Redo the outro. This is Nsima the Centaur Yang from Break the Bar. I'll talk to you all very soon.